those with an original background in IT or computer science or tech won't be supporting construction industry as good as those that have worked in construction already. Those that they started in construction, they have been exposed. They've been through all these challenges. They feel them in their skin, but they were curious about tech as well. The fun for them in their daily work is the tech part and not the other way around. It's not that, your initial career is this and then you will feel fun about construction. There are very few of those though. but those companies that try to, it's not about creating software. It's not about putting a lot of IT people in the team. If you are lacking that person that knows construction, that is very aware of the processes, the limitations, the why we have not evolved into the digital era yet, because there's a reason why. It's not that the companies don't want to make more profit or they don't want to be more efficient or they don't want to do things better. It's because there are challenges that they have, are limiting that from happening. So those people that are aware of that and at the same time feel fun and joy on applying tech into construction, I think those are the ones that are really valuable and that can bring can really make the change in our current practices and the way we foresee the construction as it is.
Yeah, because I think that the challenges, it's a bit like what you were saying before. The challenges aren't necessarily unique, but they present themselves as unique. Like if you boil it down to first principles, the challenges are similar, but you have to get past that first construction layer to figure out what those first principles are, what the core components of the problem are. And if you don't have that construction know-how, it's really hard to get through that first level, even just understanding acronyms and just, it's one thing to understand a building that's finished. It's another thing to be on site looking at a building going together and understand, what the hoist does, what the tower cranes do, why you need, holding areas, why you've got logistics problems, what people do when they turn up to site, what people do when they've turned up to site and they don't have any work to do. Like all these things that just become like entrenched in your way of thinking.
Right? The process of how to get there. And is this people that they feel fun and joy? I think you and me do, and that's why we are so excited and happy about having this conversation together. But is them who know the what is possible, so that they can actually find and research and get trained and learn about how to apply that in construction. So it's not about knowing everything, knowing how to do everything. It's about knowing what is possible and have that mindset that thought active at all times while you are working in your regular construction processes. So it's like, this is a problem, but I also know this is possible. So I'm going to put this on my to-do list so I can target it, so I can I can learn a little more about this, so I can actually implement it and apply it to my process. Not to be totally disconnected in that way, but actually be always hands-on and with that switch on of, I know this is possible. And you cannot really bring any software company to solve that, because first you need to identify the problem. Second, you need to know that can be solved, and have a slight idea of how could that be solved, right? What type of a skill do you need to get there, so you can actually seek for the right people to find it and explain the dilemma.
And that's the really beautiful opportunity that people that are currently in construction have as well, is that if I was to take someone that understood technology and tell them, right, go use the internet and learn as much as you can about construction, or I took someone that understood construction and I said, right, go on the internet and find as much as you can out about technology, there's a lot more on the internet about technology than there is about construction. There's a reason we have AI large language models which can write software code and debug technical problems, but they don't know anything about construction.
The data is available for one, but it's not available for the other. And I think that's why there's a lot of potential for those that are ready to jump into when the time comes. in that regard. There's no data for construction, therefore that's one of the big limitations we are going to have in very short time. Indeed.
I mean, if you go on Udemy and type Python in, you'll find tens of thousands of courses about learning Python. If you go in and type in NEC contracts, you maybe one course on it, and it probably costs you an arm and a leg. There's nothing on YouTube. There's no forums. And so that's why I think that's where the opportunity is, because it's so hard to attain that knowledge that once you've got it, you can then exploit it by adding this other skill in.